Just settle into a nice, comfortable seated position with the feet flat on the floor. Can just when I was doing my training for the Tai Chi Chuan practice, one of the teachers talked about suction cups at the bottom of the feet. I don't know if that's an image that works for you, but try and feel as much of the surface of the foot on the floor as you can. It's also, it's quite grounding, but we tend to forget about our feet. And they're extremely important in terms of how we balance. I mean, I think we take our feet for granted. But anyway, and as we get older, they get a little bit less able to support us. So feel the toes, the outside of the sole of the foot, the ball of the foot, the big toe mound, the little toe mound. The knees are hips width apart. You're sitting right on top of your sits bones, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Take a nice deep breath. Notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then be aware if there are any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there. Just try not to follow them with the mind. You know, we're so happily distracted by shiny objects. And then notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And just check. Are you being hard on yourself? Are you ruminating about something? Are you thinking about something in the future? And then just imagine you're sitting on the bank of your river and you're just watching that water flow on by. And check the quality of the water and just know that as long as you're watching the water, as long as you're sitting on the bank, you're free from that water. You're free from the river. So think of the people of your life, your loved ones. These are people we have deep and meaningful relationships with. And then there's our strangers. And then there is those people we don't like so much. And remember, they can all change place at any time. They're also equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. And see, this is really something that we find a lot of difficulty imagining, particularly with people we don't like, we can see the potential for Buddhahood in the ones we do love, because we can see all their good qualities, and that could be potential. But for the ones we don't like, it's all bad. Sometimes good, but we definitely can't see extraordinary qualities. But remember, those people also have a mother, a brother, a partner, perhaps, who does see those qualities. So it's all in the eye of the beholder. I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And there are a few people who we've been thinking about, particularly Hin, who's such a big part of our little community here. And I think Lorraine here wasn't feeling very well last night, so yeah, she's not here. So there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind so we can change it by creating positivity instead. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from the present suffering, we do not want it. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And there's two sections here. There's one, refuge, and developing compassion. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon Buddha's methods. So here we have our beautiful Vajrasattva. So you can imagine, he's not paper and canvas or paint and canvas. Imagine this kind of a light body above the crown of the head, a couple of inches above the crown of the head, facing the same way as you, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful radiant face, and his eyes are shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. And so think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've caused you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar like coming out of a hose. You can also imagine it coming out of like a fire hose. Quite powerful. Or like, when you have a shower, you can imagine every time you have a shower, you can imagine that you're being receiving all this nectar. You can actually do your purification practice in the shower. Get a visualization of it that way, because you'll feel the water falling on the crown of your head. Or you can imagine Niagara Falls, something like that. So anyway, it's quite powerful, and it keeps coming until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you, and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Then be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of the speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about other people behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified and imagine not possible to do anything but benefit others now with the speech, including yourself. Think about what you write, what you put on social media. All of it represents you. Even the things that you think are funny that you repost. So now Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light, this time from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch, that light instantly dispels the darkness. Well, the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and bitterness, grudges, anger, anxiety, depression, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Am Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So just be delighted that all your delusions, which are the cause of all of our own suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech are completely purified. And just imagine they're just not around anymore. They're gone. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Ambajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Ambajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Ambajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Ambajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Ambajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the fourth and final step in the purification process, and this is the power of resolve. And as I often say, it kind of maps on to this idea of regret. By regretting, you're implying you're actually intending on doing something about it. So we make a decision to refrain from harming with our body, our speech, and our mind. Not only others, but also ourselves. So first of all, rejoice in your efforts and the efforts of everybody here, and maybe some people who aren't here tonight, but have also been coming along consistently for a really long time now. So just rejoice in each other's efforts, your own effort, and then think of something that you'd like to work on. Maybe you have an addiction of some kind. Chocolate, playing computer games. There's many things. And we can rewrite the script about what we think we're doing as well. Excuse me, so just see it for what it is and think that you're going to refrain from eating this or doing that or saying that. Maybe reflect on it, how it might harm other people, might hurt their feelings, or how something might hurt your body. So I think you think about refraining from it, maybe even if it's just once a day or even for 5 minutes. So that you kind of start to create guardrails. It becomes like an aspiration. A beacon guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions, and kind of away from ways of doing things and being that might be harmful. So this determination to not do again gives us some kind of strength to change. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And someone just left a message. I'm abiding. Okay. So just for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, just make a strong wish for him to live a long and healthy life. He's already lived a long and fairly healthy life. So to continue, and then the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. And then for any of your own teachers, you know, whoever they may be, just pray for them to have a long life. Okay, everyone. Lots of love. I'll see some of you tomorrow morning. I am going to think about what it is that we will do tomorrow morning, unless anyone is busting for a request. Oh, that's right. We were going to do Medicine Buddha. So particularly for Barbara's friend, I think her name might be Jennifer, but Barbara's friend who's kind of in hospital, then we can do it for him and anybody else who's got someone who's not terribly well. So let's just do that. And of course, Lorraine's not feeling too well. So let's just do Medicine Buddha tomorrow morning. That's okay with everyone. Okay. Lots of love. And I'll see you then.